Hi guys, happy Wednesday. I have a lot of information to share with you, a lot of updates, cool things happening, and I know that if I don't take a second to share them with you, then my schedule is just gonna fly by and I will have completely missed the opportunity to share these things with you. So feel free to grab something to drink, grab a crochet project, make yourself comfortable, and enjoy this video as I kind of share a lot of information, things happening, things that I experienced, and kind of what I am tackling today. Okay, so diving right into it. I am in the main house right now, so I apologize if there's an echo. This room has really tall ceilings, but I needed the large table, and I like to sit on the floor because it makes me feel more grounded. I'm just more comfortable sitting on the floor. I don't know what it is. It's just me. So I'm using this really large table, and I have all of my stuff just strewn about here. Let me kind of show you a little bit with, hopefully I don't lose my camera angle, but let me show you what I'm working with right now. So here I've got my projects, my to-do lists, patterns, my computer where I am diving into different charts. There's my bag and my kind of weekly calendar thing that I put together. I love the dot paper, where it looks like that with all the dots. I just feel personally like there's so much I can do with it. There's so much ability that I can do with that paper, and I'm constantly doing different things, such as making little calendars for myself, or just kind of like to-dos with little boxes next to it. So I like this paper a lot. Anyways, moving past that. Yeah, there's a lot of just, today is all busy work. Busy, 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 busy. And I hate these days because I feel like they slow me down. I feel like I'm not making any progress. I don't really see the progress in the things that I'm doing today, but I get how they complete projects, they complete things, and they're just very necessary, such as today I am creating I'm creating patterns, and then I'm gonna send them to somebody to make them all pretty for me, but I still have to create the pattern because the person I'm sending them to doesn't crochet. They're starting to pick things up here and there on what things mean and the process of what I'm trying to get across in the pattern. And I try to keep my patterns pretty much the same when it comes to the order of information, so that it's pretty much plug and play. What needs to go here, what needs to go here, what needs to go here. So I made my patterns very easy for somebody who doesn't crochet to be able to take what I provide them and just plug in information. The big thing though is that I still have to create that rough draft in a sense, so that way they have something to then go and finalize. So I'm doing that today. And one of the main big things that I have to accomplish today, like you saw on my computer, was the creation of charts. And I did the diagrams already. I've already created those. This part right now requires all the math. So the diagrams are more so time consuming because I have to make sure that the stitch symbol is where it needs to be, and that hopefully the pattern, how I put it together, all makes sense. And so there's that. And I like to color code each row most of the time, so you know, oh, that's a different row. I don't need to look at that. I'm focused here on this one color and following this one color. A lot of things that I try to keep in mind when I do pattern creating or diagram creating that I'm hoping helps you out even more. But what I'm doing right now is I'm taking a project that is coming up, and I am creating a swatch and getting all of the information, so that way I can get the different number of stitches that need to go in the row, or the chain count requirement that needs to go in the row, the number of rows that they need to accomplish to make the project, and then also approximately how much material they are going to need in order to make that project. That seems to be a consistent question I get all the time, is how much yarn do I need to buy to do this project? How much yarn do I need to buy to do this project? And I get it when you are worried about dye lot numbers and making sure that the yarn you get is consistently the same color. If you don't know what dye lot is, when a yarn company dyes their yarn, let's just, for example, let's say this guy, because he's here, so he gets to be the example. Okay, so on the label, it'll say like lot number or dye lot number, and it'll have a number here. And that stands for when this yarn was probably completely blank, like this color. They put all this yarn in like a bucket or a tray or something, and then in that same tray or same bucket or tub or whatever they did, they added the color, and this yarn came from tub number that. That's the dye lot number. This was the tub or round that they did at that time. So all of the colors are consistently all the same color. However, a lot of people will notice with different yarn, it could be the exact same label, the exact same technical color, where it's burnt pumpkin. In this case, it says burnt pumpkin, but the dye lot number will be different because maybe it was the next year or the next month that they made a whole nother batch of the burnt pumpkin color, but the color will be slightly different, either a little darker, a little bit lighter. And if you look at the dye lot number, you'll see that those numbers are different. You'd be like, oh, the reason why this color is lighter or darker is because it was part of a different batch. So sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of companies like Michaels or Joann's or Hobby Lobby, they will keep their colors fairly consistent across all their dye lot bins and yarn creations. So you don't technically need to worry about the dye lot number all the time. But sometimes with certain brands of yarn, the dye lot number is a big deal and the color does change. Even though it says it's the same color, it's very different. It is very different. So I get how people want to know exactly how much yarn they need to buy for a project so they can make sure they get the yarn to be all the same dye lot number. Or maybe they are very limited on how many times they go to the store. And so this is their one time for them to go to the store, and they're like, okay, I need to get everything I need to get now. So when I get home, I can just create this project. And I understand that too. And sometimes providing the approximate amount of yarn you're going to need for the project is easy, and I can absolutely do that for you and be like, here you go. And sometimes it's hard. It really depends on the project and some other factors, such as like if you are using the exact same yarn that I am using, then it's easier for me to provide you the information. If you're wanting to use a different yarn, different size, or same size but different brand, each brand will have a different amount of yarn in their skein, and it can be a matter of just doing more math, where I will provide you approximately how many yards of yarn I use to complete a project, and then you can take that total number and divide that number by how many yards of yarn are in the skein, and then you'll know how many skeins you will need to buy. But some people just, they really don't like math, and they would rather just be provided the information, provided the number. And like I said, sometimes that's easy and sometimes it's not. What I'm doing right now with all of these charts and all of these grids and everything I'm doing is I'm gonna take the swatch that I create for this pattern. I'm gonna do the math and find out how many yards of yarn are in a particular section. And then I'm going to take that section and find out how many of these sections can fit in the size blanket that I want to make. And I plan on doing a video on this and explaining my whole process in the future. I have it all written down actually. in the front of my handy Dancy Even wrote daily planner. It's smudged because I didn't use permanent markers. But I have like a whole like swatch series breakdown that has like two pages that I broke down. Eventually I'll get there. Eventually, one day. I'll get there. There's so much I want to do with you guys, so much I want to teach and share and do, but time. So yeah, I'm just providing all these pattern creating. So I'm making patterns today. That was a long explanation of that. What else am I doing? Creating patterns. I created diagrams, get those to the said people. I need to go through my emails, go through my comments, and eventually I actually need to work on some huge projects that are coming up and start getting those prepped and worked so that way I have enough time to work on them. So more things, just kind of like the behind the scenes things. But it's funny because I'll spend all day doing these things, and they're very important because in order for a video to be complete, I need to have the pattern provided and created and ready to go. So a whole like project isn't done when I'm done recording the video. The project is done when the video is recorded and the pattern is finalized and everything for the pattern and project is ready to go. So I get it. I know these things are important, but they just take time, and I'd rather just record videos and crochet. That's honestly all I would rather do, is record videos and crochet. But so that's a lot of what I'm doing today. I also have a crafters gathering tonight. I'm really looking forward to that and talking to all of my crafters gatherers about my experience yesterday. So if you follow me on Instagram, I think I primarily put everything in my Instagram stories yesterday, but I went to the crochet group for Warm Up America. Warm Up America has 3 crochet groups a month. They meet in different locations. So I think they meet South Lake, Grapevine, and Frisco, I think. Plano, one of those. They're right next to each other anyway, but there's 3 different places that the group meets a month, and the Grapevine meeting is the closest one to me. I know South Lake is they're kind of the same distance. They're pretty close to each other, but I chose to meet up at the Grapevine one because I love Grapevine. It's a really beautiful, cute little town. And unfortunately, my schedule is extremely busy with my kids this year. They both got into extracurricular activities, and on Tuesdays, my daughter does kickboxing, and she does that on Tuesday nights. So I was like, how am I gonna make this work? How am I gonna finagle this? Because I really, really wanna go to this crochet group. I had the big box of veteran projects that I showed off in a different video, and I was like, this is exciting. I want to get, that was all done. I need to get these projects back to Kendra with Warm Up America, and I know she's gonna be at this meeting, so I need to go to this meeting so I can give her back her projects, or the projects that were donated. So that was another reason where I was like, I can't skip this, I have to go. So I was like, okay, the only way I'm gonna make this work is if I drop my daughter off early at kickboxing, head straight to the meeting, stay at the meeting for a short amount of time, and then come back and pick up my daughter and then head home. So I'd arrive at the meeting late and have to leave early. And I was like, that's not what I wanna do, but that's just kind of what I have to do in order to go. So I set an alarm on my phone so that way I wouldn't get too distracted and immersed in the meeting or the crochet group, because I do that. I just get immersed in talking with people. I get distracted. I just hyper focus on what's happening, and then I lose all track of time. So I know this about myself, and I set an alarm. So that way it's like, okay, you have to leave. You have to go pick up Cadence. So I get to the meeting, and it's a beautiful day, beautiful location. Just completely loved the spot. I was like, I need to come back here sometime. And this group was so many people. I wasn't expecting the group to be so big. I was excited in the sense of, wow, there's, all these people crocheting together, and this is really neat. I would love to be able to just communicate with all these people, ask them about their story, ask them what they're working on, and just get more connected with these individuals and get more connected with the community. And it was just really, really cool. But at the same time, I'm like, keeping in mind, I only have this much time to be here. So I ended up meeting, I totally forgot her name off the top of my head. I was going to write it down so that way I'd have it for the video. But when I was there, I met one of my followers here on YouTube who lives in the area, and she had never heard of Warm Up America before. Heard of the campaign on my YouTube channel. I think it wasn't this last one, it was the one before this. And she realized that she actually knew some of the people that worked for or volunteered for Warm Up America, and she had no idea about this Warm Up America charity. And so she thought that was really, really neat. She ended up donating a huge amount of items that she had crocheted. And she's one of those individuals who has all this time on her hands. She loves to crochet, she loves to create, doesn't really have anyone to crochet for, was looking for some charity or someone to connect with to create things for, and Warm Up America was just the perfect fit for her. And the fact that she knew people in the Warm Up America Foundation, she lives close to the Warm Up America office and had no idea that they even existed. It's kind of mind-blowing, but I'm so grateful that I was able to introduce her to Warm Up America, because now she's extremely involved. She goes to the meetings, the crochet groups. She donates regularly to Warm Up America, and she doesn't just donate a couple things. She donates a lot of things. Like right now they're doing a challenge. I think they are working on scarves. They have like a scarf challenge going on at Warm Up America right now. And she already has like 30 something scarves created. I'm like, you go girl, like have fun with this. This is awesome. I love that she has all this drive and this purpose and feels this connection, and she found a thing that makes her so happy. And I think that's so awesome. So I met her, and she thanked me personally for introducing her to Warm Up America, told me how involved she is with it now. I took a picture with her, and I'm gonna be sharing that picture on social media, so on my Instagram and on my Facebook, and I'll probably share it in my YouTube posts also. Just kind of, I asked her permission. I was like, can I use this picture? And she said yes. But it was really cool to meet her. So I met her, talked to her briefly, and then I spoke with Kendra, and she is my connection with Warm Up America. She's a volunteer directly with Warm Up America, and she asked me if I had heard of Fiber Fest happening this weekend in the DFW area, and I'm like, no, I haven't heard about that yet. I'm very disconnected. I don't go on social media and look at like what's happening this week or this month. I don't put my attention there. And so I honestly miss out on a lot of things. But she asked me, she's like, are you going? And I'm like, I wasn't, because I didn't know it existed, but now I'm absolutely wanting to go. So apparently this weekend is Fiber Fest in DFW, which is Dallas, Fort Worth. And I'm gonna go, and I'm going to do a whole vlog on it and show you guys around and do a whole video on me going to Fiber Fest and what I see and what is there and what I've learned and all that fun stuff. Apparently Warm Up America has a booth there at Fiber Fest. They were invited to go so people could learn about them and just more awareness of the Warm Up America Foundation. So Kendra is awesome. She is so full of information, and she's so creative and comes up with these really cool ideas. And I'm like, Kendra, we need to be friends. Because she inspires me so much, and she has so much knowledge. She's just so connected, and I'm like, this is gonna be super cool. So I'm gonna be doing that this weekend, and I'm excited to share that information with you. I'm excited to create that video. That's gonna be super fun. So that's the new news that I'm really excited about. And then, so while I'm talking to Kendra about these challenges that they're doing with the Warm Up America Facebook group and talking to her about Fiber Fest, this woman approached the group of crocheters and she didn't speak English. And one of the group members asked about, they're like, does anybody here know how to speak Spanish? Nobody knew how to speak Spanish. And she looked like she had a question. And on my phone, I have Google Translate. It's an app on my phone that I've downloaded because I get comments on my YouTube videos in other languages. And I oftentimes want to know what somebody said, And so I don't always know what language it is. And that can be the most challenging part, is figuring out what language to translate to English. But in this case, they said Spanish. And so I'm like, we'll start with Spanish. We'll start there. So I ended up using my phone, using this Google Translate app, found out that this woman is from Venezuela, doesn't speak any English. I don't know how long she has lived in the area, if she's new or not, but she was very curious to learn how to crochet. And she's like, is there anyone here who can teach me how to crochet? I'm like, girl, you just found the perfect person. So I showed her my YouTube channel. I showed her my Getting Started series. So that way she had reference somewhere to start. And I told her that I'm gonna try to make the Grapevine meetings. And if she can get all of the things she needs to get started with crochet, and if she can make it to the meetings, I would try to teach her how to crochet. And I would use the Google Translate app, obviously, to do so. So that's gonna be a very interesting experience. But it was one of those experiences, when I look back on it, I have this incredible universe feeling. I was meant to go to this meeting. Like I was put there, I was given these projects so that way I had to go to this meeting, so that I had to give these projects back to Kendra, that I was supposed to be at this meeting so that way this woman I could intercept this woman who was curious to learn how to crochet. And I don't know what crochet will do for her life. I don't know what crochet will do for her future. I don't know how it will affect her. All I know is that I was the only one able to communicate with her, and I love to teach crochet. And so I think that her meeting me and me being there was her in her ability to learn how to crochet. And those moments feel extra special, like you were meant to be there. So I'm hoping that I can meet this woman again in the future and teach her how to crochet, because like I said, I have no idea how crochet will affect her life, impact her life. All I know is it brings me immense joy, and it's my relaxation, it's my peace of mind. It's honestly how I get my creative, crafty energy out, and it's how I make myself feel just fulfilled, is through crochet. I just absolutely love it. And if I can teach her how to crochet, and she then wants to go forward and help create things for charities, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I don't know. All I know is that it was really, really cool. It was a great moment, great feeling, and I was super happy to be there to help her. The bummer part though was I spent so much time communicating with her, because it took a while to use the app, type in what I wanted to say. She would read it. She'd type in what she wanted to say. I would read it. And we'd go back and forth like that. It took so much time, and I had this limited time to be there that I didn't get to speak with a bunch of people. I think one person started telling me a story, and they didn't get to finish their story. And I was talking to Kendra about her ideas and these campaigns she's doing, and these cool challenges that she's doing, and I was picking her brain about those, and she didn't get to finish telling me about that. So it was like all these things were unfinished, and then I had to leave because I had to go pick up my daughter because the alarm went off on my phone. And I'm like so thankful that I set that alarm on my phone, because I would have been completely distracted, a complete mess, and I would have completely missed picking her up, and that would have been a thing for sure. So anyways, that was really, really cool. Warm Up America crochet group, planning on doing that again in the future. Fiber Fest happening in DFW this weekend. I plan on going, so that's gonna be more content coming at you. And then yeah, I have all of these incredible things that I'm working on right now. I have a video coming up very soon where I show you a little sneak peek about a tutorial coming up very soon, how to do a pumpkin inlay with this square. And in the video, I show you that you can either make the square and then join squares together, or you can take, I have a couple diagrams that I provide for you in a pattern, where you can take this pumpkin out and just insert it into whatever pattern you want to create with a pumpkin in it, whether that is like a little dish towel that you hang in your kitchen with a little pumpkin on the bottom corner, or a pillow, or a table runner, or a blanket, or honestly, whatever you want to do. If you wanted to put a bunch of little pumpkins, however you want to put a bunch of little pumpkins on a blanket, I think that'd be super cute. But what I'm going to be doing, what I envisioned doing, is a project that I don't think I'll end up doing a tutorial for. I might end up doing like a quick little short about it to explain like what I did, but I don't know if I'll have time. I'll see how I can make it happen. But what I did is I created 9 of them. So there's 9 little pumpkins, and I'm going to create a 3 by 3 square, so 9 squares. I'm going to join them all together, and then I'm going to create a back, join the front and back together, and the back will be one solid piece. And I'm gonna make it a pillow. I thought that would be a really cute fall item to put in my home. So that is what I'm gonna be doing with these. I know I asked a question on, did I ask it on social media, or did I ask it? I think I asked it with the post. I took a little reel short video where I was taking pictures of all 9 of these put down on the table, or placed on the table, and I asked, what do you think I'm gonna be making with these? And it's going to be a pillow. So I just thought that would be adorable, and I can't wait to share that project with you guys. It'll be a super quick project, but it's completely connected to the video I'm releasing very soon, where I show you how to just make the square. Because once you make the little square, you can do whatever you want with it. All right, so I'm working on that. And what is my calendar look like? Gosh, we're nearing the end of September, guys. We're nearing the end of September. So I'm finishing up some other projects, and I'm really starting to try to focus on October already, pushing the fall projects, I have a couple like Halloween projects coming out that are super fun, that are very different for me, and I'm like really pushing my creativity and making it happen. So I really need to focus on that today, like practicing working with this pattern some more, so that way I can make it happen. And so I'll probably work on that a little bit more today. So I'm really excited about the videos coming out on my channel. Make sure you keep watching and looking out for my videos, because the projects that I'm bringing out are so fun and just completely pushing my crochet limits and my crafty ability. And I'm designing all of these patterns, and it's so cool, so much fun, and I hope you're having a blast too just watching them. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video now. I'm almost at 30 minutes. I'll be right over 30 minutes by the time it's done and it's ready for you to watch. But I just, again, wanted to share those fun information with you, what I'm working on, and yeah, touch base. I like touching base with you guys, just letting you in on what I am doing. Again, this is all my behind the scenes content, behind the scenes on the videos, and I love to share that information. All right, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll be seeing you very soon with my next tutorial. Bye, guys.